What's going on, everybody? My name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Black Boss Channel, and I have a special guest today. He's a former NFL player, now turned community activist, entrepreneur, and everything else. Mr. Jamon Brown. How you doing, Jamon?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, I'm pretty good. So Jamon Brown played at the University of Louisville. He played in the NFL for a little bit, and now he is just serving his communities in ways that are unfathomable and really appreciative to a blessing to the city of Louisville. That is, Jamon. I want to just say that on camera because you are someone who were able to go be a professional with the sports ring, something that millions of kids across the country want to do. You made it from our town. It's not a lot of people from our hometown to make it to that, NFL, that type of athlete, high caliber, and then to come back and pour into a community. I just want to say on camera, thank you for all the things that you do. It's a little personal to me, so I wanted to make sure the world knew that means a lot to me and to a lot of people across this city.
Man, for sure. To me, being blessed to kind of achieve some of the heights that I have. Um, it's only right. I think to kind of come back, tap into the place where the grassroots started, which is back in Louisville, Kentucky.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, Jamon, I want to ask you, man. I talked about you making it to the NFL. Was that something? That's not a lot of something. A lot of things that a lot of people, from our hometown get to do. Make it all the way to the league,
Right,
especially at your position, at the offensive
right.
line position. Was that something as a kid that you wanted to do, or was that something as you got older that you kind of realized, like, yeah, I can actually make it to the league?
Man, to be honest, um, it was definitely a dream, right? I would be lying if I said it wasn't a dream as a kid. But I think it got more realistic as I got older. Um, I started playing football. I was a tight end, right? Um, played quarterback a little bit during Little League and Pop Warner, and then developed into high school into being a lineman. And so um, when I was younger, I was more thinking about being Michael Vick or somebody of that nature. And as I got older and my body changed and my trajectory kind of changed, I then looked at people like Michael Orr and things like that. And so, uh, having the opportunity to reach a level that is the pinnacle of football, um, it was a blessing. But for me, it was more than that. You know what I mean? I think it was. Um, kind of my start or at least my um, foundation to being able to do what I do now. You know what I mean? And that's impact people's lives. I think that's the biggest thing.
Now, when was it? At what age? At what year in college or whatever is it that you realized like that you could actually play in the NFL? That you were actually good enough to get drafted early round draft pick, third round, and to actually play in the NFL? At what point did it finally hit you that you could actually make that happen?
Man, to be honest, it didn't really come reality that it was a realistic opportunity until I want to say sophomore junior year of college. You know what I mean? Yeah, I believed in high school. But that kind of reality point didn't really hit until I got a little bit closer to you know the NFL being a reality. And so I would say around sophomore junior year, obviously we had just come off the Sugar Bowl win. We then went 12-1 the following year. Only lost to UCF, and that's when realistically the hype and the kind of notoriety fell in place, and I then knew, you know what I mean, being a pro was realistic.
Now take me back to when you were in college, man. I mean, you look back on those Louisville rosters and some of those guys you played with, from Teddy Bridgewater, John Miller, Devontae Parker, Calvin Pryor. I can go on and on. What was it like? And then playing up under Charlie Strong. Just what was it like playing with those guys? And what was it like playing for Charlie Strong during a time when Louisville football was one of the top programs in the country?
Right. For me, one, I want to start saying it was a blessing, right? Coming from where I come from, right? Louisville sports, right? Football is big, but it gets cold. So we were mostly known for basketball, you know what I mean? But being able to be at Louisville and represent the city during that time was nothing like it. Being able to be in the locker room and rub elbows and be influenced by people like you said, Teddy Bridgewater's and Coach Strauss. I think it was um, pivotal to the success of a lot of us. Right, a lot of us is still in the league. You've seen a lot of players from those teams while Coach Strong was there that's in the league now, having a lot of success. And so, I think that's just a credit to the culture that Coach Strong built. But um, definitely the highs that we experience is like none other.
Once again, we're talking to Jamon Brown of the Jamon Brown Foundation. We're going to get into that, I promise. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. Now, Jamon, as we alluded to, you played in the league. You played some years in the league, but now you have transitioned out of the NFL. Just, was it tough? No longer playing football, and how has that been? When it came around that time where you realized, like, hey, I think I want to retire from the NFL. Was that a hard decision for you?
It wasn't. It wasn't. Of course, football played a huge part of my life, and to kind of disconnect from it was tough. But to be honest, I feel like God was kind of putting me in a position of transition, and I felt like the timing was no better timing than now, and kind of because of where my foundation is and what we're working on, I felt the need to really be able to focus on that. And being an athlete, you know, um, it's hard to kind of focus on anything else other than being an athlete, right? You got to train, you got diet, you got massages, chiropractors, and just 24-hour work, 24/7 hour. Um, Work that goes on in that. And so with the project that we're working on now, um, I really thought that it needed that kind of pro level focus to get this done. Again, we're trying to impact our city in a way that helps us lower the crime and some of the gun violence that we're seeing in our city right now. And so um, I was at a slow point. Had my son in January at the top of the year, and that's when I felt, no better time than now. Made the transition. Um, it was it was different, right, to get to adjust to not having that day to day schedule and kind of building your own schedule. But for me, things started picking up outside of football, and that's where it made all more sense.
Now, Jamon, what year is it that you started the JB Foundation, and what kind of, I mean, you alluded to some of the things, but what kind of led to you wanting to make sure that you gave back to the city that helped bring you up?
Man, so I started my foundation back in 2016, which was my second year in the league. And my purpose for starting my foundation was really being able to have an avenue to help someone outside of my family, right? Um, I felt like through my whole journey that it was my obligation to not only make it out, but then come back and try to bring somebody with me. Right? The saying goes, show a man to fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. Well, I believe if you keep teaching that man to go teach another man, then we can own the pond. And so, um, with that mindset, I kind of used the platform of the NFL to um, help bring awareness and help bring resources to initiatives and to people that are in need, and definitely started at home base in Louisville. And we've done a gambit of things. When I initially started my foundation, it was geared towards more youth and young adult homelessness. Excuse me. Um, and during 2020, during the pandemic and during a lot of the injustices that we've seen around the world, really, my foundation kind of took a pivot to more racial equality and social injustice. And from that came the birth of our biggest project and what we're working on now, the Empowerment Center. And the Empowerment Center for me is really a hybrid of a resource hub and a recreational center. Um, Being able to bridge the gaps between learning and having fun and empowering people to do that for themselves and then do that for someone else, help bring someone along. And so we're in a unique space. We have a lot of partnerships with, notable organizations of the community: Metro United Way, Norton's Healthcare, Sowing Seeds with Faith, JCPS, you name it. We pretty much got um, a piece of them in this project. And so as we bring it together and we start to move towards building, I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Now, Jamon, I want to backtrack a bit. You talked about, how your foundation took a pivot in 2020, and obviously in 2020, not only did the pandemic happen, but the death of Breonna Taylor. And I know that you and a lot of celebrities, both local and national, led a protest kind of
Mm.
in the name of Breonna Taylor. Just take me back to that moment. What was it like putting that together, and what was it like actually having that take place in Louisville, Kentucky, and knowing that you helped make that happen?
Man, to be honest, I think um, like a lot of the celebrities and people of notoriety that you alluded to that got involved in not just the protests for Breonna Taylor, but the protests in general. Um, I think it was just everybody's kind of way of figuring out how do we get involved and how do we help. You know what I mean? I know for me, watching George Floyd, knowing that that happened in a whole nother state, and then having a same type of incident happen in my backyard, it kind of backed me into a corner of, as an athlete, I tried to create this kind of representation of myself as being a community pillar. Well, during adversity, what do leaders of our community, what is our responsibility during those times? And so for me, um, I'm real hands on, and I thought about, you know, just getting the trenches, man. You know what I mean? Like, how I play football. I was up front. The work that I did in football was ugly, but it was every play, and so that kind of fueled me to want to get on the front lines of the Breonna Taylor incident, and from that, everything took flight. Everything took flight. Who I am played a part in it. What I've done in our community definitely assisted in the voice that I was trying to um, kind of cry out and shed some light to. And so being able to have that um, kind of power, so to speak, and be able to use it for something as powerful as the Breonna Taylor incident, um, you know, I didn't think there was any other way to respond. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely, absolutely. Once again, we're talking to Jamon Brown of the Jamon Brown Foundation. Be sure to hit the like, share, subscribe buttons. Now, Jamon, you also outside of community activism, and I'm going to touch on that some more later. But you got that chain around your neck. It's the Total 360. Just tell me about what you do with Total 360. What was that like? Also getting involved with them, Desmond Davidson, Reggie Bonifant, and those guys over at Total 360. Did we lose you? Hey, there you go. Can you hear me?
Did I lose you?
No, can you still hear me? Hey, Jamon, I'm still here. Can you hear me? Let's see. I think we. Hey, Jamon, you hear me?
Yep, I think I lost you.
Okay, okay, sorry about that. Yeah, no, I was asking about getting involved with Total 360 Management. What's your role over there, and what's some of the benefits you have from partnering and being a part of that team?
Man, I'm for Total 360. I'm the VP of Football Operations and Strategic Planning, and really that was one of the things I felt the need to tie myself to as I transitioned out of football. Um, Desmond, the CEO of the company, has been a lifelong friend of mine. He's been a big brother of mine that I've watched kind of grow in his journey. I was always on the field playing, and he was always kind of running the behind the scenes, um, kind of action. And so um, the opportunity to kind of come under the same roof, I felt, there's no better time. And I'm always trying to hook with good people, and Desmond and the organization is great. I love the work that we're doing. I love where we're headed. And so, it made sense.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Total 360's got some great stuff going on. Now, you alluded to your legacy center, or your center that you're working on right now with the JB Foundation. Just if you can, just let me know some more information about that. What kind of is the structure? What's that going to look like? And is there a tentative date or anything that's taking place with that?
So we don't have a tentative date. We just moved to the level of trying to get renderings and figuring out what this actually looks like. Um, but the Empowerment Center really is geared towards access and being able to create access for a demographic of people that may have been overlooked, may not have access, and don't know where to go. And so um, we did a little bit of research on, how do we execute something like this, and how do we execute it in a way that works. And we actually found who is our partners, the Change Center, an organization that started in Knoxville, Tennessee. They started back in 2019. And in looking at the Change Center and seeing what they've done, they was able to, once they opened their doors in 2019, help lower the crime rate 73% of their high crime at risk areas, right? In 2020, when the pandemic hit us all, they had to shut their doors. Well, their community crime rate then rose back that 73 percent that was decreased the year prior. And so that's where we felt like this is proof of concept. And I'm a big believer in not reinventing the wheel. The wheel's already really been invented. Just kind of retrofitting it to how you need it. And so, with that being said, partnering with them, they allowed us to kind of replicate their model and retrofit it to Louisville and bring it here. And so, what we will do is we'll have sports, we'll have entertainment, and then of course we'll have academic enrichment and financial literacy. Um, but there's also unique opportunities that we plan to offer through the Empowerment Center, such as affordable housing, access to healthcare, and of course job and workforce training. And so um, I'm really excited. Again, I think I mentioned a couple partners, which is Norton's one of our big healthcare facilitators, excuse me, in the city. JCPS, which we all know, the school system, and then a lot of community partners that's doing great work. Urban League, Metro United Way, just a list of partners that one seen my vision, seen my intent of what I was trying to do, and bridging that gap of bringing the resources to the people that really need it, and then trying to do that in a fashion that makes it fun, makes it friendly, and makes it for everybody.
No, that's awesome, man. That is something that, living here, I understand how the violent crime has went up exponentially, just like across the country. It's not just Louisville, but it's across the country. And to hear that you're doing something to try to help destroy some of those numbers, lower some of those numbers
Right.
is amazing. Is amazing. Now, Jamon, for those who may want to help the JB Foundation or want to get in contact with you, where can they reach out? Where can they help? What are some of the socials, emails, any of those things that maybe people can reach out and help if they want to?
Yeah. So I mean, on Twitter and Instagram is going to be the Jamon Brown Foundation. Um, you can find us on the social media outlets through that. If you want to find us on the internet, it's www.jbrownfoundation.com. Um, and again, you can email or reach out on the website too. Um, we have some updates coming to the website about the Empowerment Center, about where we are, um, and so just stay tuned and listen. No role is too small. No role is too small in any work that you do, and so I encourage any and everybody who's watching this that wants to find a space of kind of helping the community. There is a space for you. So just tap in. We'll find a place where you can work best. But let's all make this change happen.
Absolutely, and that is www.jbrownfoundation, and we have the URL on the screen. Hey, Jamon, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to speak with me. Once again, I just want to let you know, once again on camera, man, with the work that you do for this city and this community is unmatched. I don't know of any former players or anybody, not just former players, but anybody of any stature that puts in the work like you do. And to see this empowerment center come to fruition from the ground up, I'm going to enjoy every second of it, and I want to help in any way that I can.
Well,
This is
listen, man,
Jamon Brown once again.
we
What was that? What?
I want to say, as we get further, I want to give updates.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna put this out there. I want to be back. I want to come back, kind of talk about next phases and progress as we go, and just keep everybody in tune and informed.
Absolutely, absolutely. Once again, this is Jamon Brown of Jamon Brown Foundation of Total 360 Management,
Talk to
former NFL player. So many labels. We didn't even get into the music. I know you do some music too
talk to
on the side, but I appreciate it, man. And once again, we will have you back on to give an update on the Empowerment Center. And when it opens, trust me, I'll be there. I'll be there,
Yes, sir.
grand opening for sure. Once again, this is Jamon Brown. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Black Boss Channel, and we will see you next.